российских военнослужащих подразделений здесь не было и нет.
У нас тут напротив стояли россияне, все хорошие хлопцы.
А мы нашли там людей.
The battle for the strategic town of Debaltseve in eastern Ukraine last February was a crucial turning point in the war between Ukrainian government forces and armed groups backed by Russia. The pro-Russia forces took the town after encircling thousands of Ukrainian troops. But almost immediately after the Ukrainian defeat, reports started surfacing that it was regular Russian army units that made the victory possible, and that local Ukrainian separatists couldn't have done it alone. Journalists recorded footage showing soldiers of non-European appearance who could not have come from Ukraine. Photographs showed them operating heavy equipment and even playing soccer near Debaltseve. But Russian officials have consistently denied their country's involvement in Ukraine.
Говорим прямо и определенно. Российских войск на Украине нет.
And on the ground, in the conflict zone, Russian military observers carefully toe their government's official position.
Читайте официальную информацию. Российских военнослужащих подразделений здесь не было и нет.
So I asked the international observers from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe to see if they would give me a clear answer that would set the issue of Russian soldiers in Ukraine to rest.
We report objectively what we see, but it's not up for the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission to draw conclusions on this other than what we directly see.
Yeah, but my question was very simple. Are the Russians actively participating in the fighting with their active service member? Have you observed that through your observers? You've got more people here than anybody else. You should be able to answer a question like that.
Well, I gave you already a very straightforward answer, that we have reported that we have seen uniformed men wearing the insignia of the Russian Federation. But to make a conclusion or to draw a conclusion that these uniform carriers are actually servicemen from another country is not for me to conclude.
Even the international observers didn't want to make any real conclusions. Elliot Higgins is a renowned citizen journalist who's made a name for himself using photographs freely available online to pinpoint the exact location of militants everywhere from Syria to Siberia. I asked him to help me find Russian troops in Ukraine.
This is one of the companies that they've been tracking.
We've been trying to figure out exactly why they have white armbands.
Предназначение обусловлено тем, что на поле боя надо различать своего и противника.
Higgins is currently working with an American think tank called the Atlantic Council to produce a report that shows that anyone with an internet connection can prove for themselves that Russia has fought in Ukraine. I met him in Kiev during one of his research trips.
For the core of this report, we're using open source and social media investigation, which means looking at things that are posted online. For example, we've got soldiers who are posting videos and photographs of themselves, both inside Russia and Ukraine. We've images of military vehicles that are appearing in Russia and then Ukraine, vehicles that are unique to Russia that have been turning up in Ukraine time and time again. But what's great about open source information is anyone, from their own home can actually go and see and try to piece together the actual truth rather than relying on propaganda. In my mind, there's no doubt that there's evidence of Russia's involvement in Ukraine. We're talking about artillery attacks from Russia into Ukraine, supporting Russian vehicles going into Ukraine, and Russian troops going into Ukraine.
We decided to test the report's methodology by looking into the background of a fighter named Bato Dambayev, an ethnic Buryat from Siberia, whose unit on the Mongolian border was said to have been sent to fight in Debaltseve in eastern Ukraine. He seemed like a good target because he was very active on Russian social networks. So this is the profile page of Bato Dambayev on vk.com, which is a popular social network in Russia. And he's got photographs here going back to the year 2013 showing him in his home region, the Buryat Republic in Siberia. Here he's got an album called Army, picture of himself in his Russian army uniform.
Here he is with some of his buddies at the base, and here he is taking yet another selfie with a Russian flag patch on his arm. This was posted on the 20th of January, 2015.
In other words, just a few weeks before the crucial battle in Debaltseve. But where was it taken? The only way to know for sure was to try to find the spot myself.
I've come to Russia to retrace the trail of digital breadcrumbs that Dambayev left on his way to Ukraine from his home base in Siberia, thousands of miles away from the battlefield. And we're starting here in Moscow on the Red Square. Сфотографируйте, пожалуйста. Ну, чтобы Василий Блаженный Кремль попал, если можно.
Like so many other Russian soldiers, Dambayev has posted dozens of photographs of himself online. Some tell us more about his personality than his military service. But there are others that give away quite a bit about what the Russian army is up to. My first stop was 700 miles south, where we believed some of Dambayev's photos in uniform were taken.
This is Taganrog, a city in southern Russia that's just 40 miles from the border with Ukraine. 100 miles away from here is the city of Debaltseve in eastern Ukraine. And at any given time, there are thousands of Russian soldiers training in military exercises near the Ukrainian border. And we know from photographs that Dambayev took with his comrades that he also spent quite a bit of time here last winter. The trip to Taganrog was probably just a bit of R&R on the weekend between drills, because most of the other photographs are taken in places that are harder to geolocate, like inside tanks or in the middle of open fields. But this is another picture that they took next to a monument, probably during their break. Does this look about right?
So the photo with the Russian flag patch was taken here in Russia, a pretty good indication Dambayev is an active member of the Russian army.
This is a photograph of Dambayev and one of his fellow soldiers. It's really hard to tell where the photograph was taken because there's nothing in the background. It looks like it's indoors or inside a vehicle. But lucky for us, the soldier who posted it didn't turn off his location settings. So when you click on the map, you can see exactly where he uploaded it from. When you zoom out, it's in the middle of a field not far from the Ukrainian border. And if you look at the photos that are geotagged to the same location, the photos nearby, you can see that there's still tons of Russian soldiers there taking selfies, posting them to the internet. And it's a pretty big encampment.
With just a geotagged photo, we headed down a dirt road to see where it would lead us.
So we followed the pin on the map out into the countryside, and we've already seen 3 really big army encampments with hundreds of vehicles in them. You can really feel the military presence out here near the border with Ukraine. The Russian military, on an official level, says that the reason they're out here across the region is for military drills. But these drills have been going on for a year now, so you've got to wonder what they're really here for.
One of the photographs on Bato's profile is different from the rest. In it, he's wearing a uniform, unlike the ones in any of his other posts. Doesn't have insignia. He's wearing a white armband, and he appears to be standing in a battlefield. This photograph was posted in February, around the time of the battles for Debaltseve. So we headed to Ukraine to see if we could find the place it was taken. This is the side of the conflict that the de facto authorities want you to see. Units like this one, made up of volunteers both from Ukraine as well as from Russia, but who aren't members of the Russian military. But when the going gets tough and units like this one can't handle the fighting alone, we've seen a pattern has developed over the course of this war where actual Russian military are sent in from across the border. And we know that from social media posts that the soldiers have been making themselves. We drove to a town near Debaltseve where ethnic Asians had been sighted to see if any of the locals remembered them. Здравствуйте. Вы не знаете, хозяин этого дома здесь?
Здесь.
И что случилось здесь?
Прилетел град в дом. Убило 2 детей. Одному 7, второму 17. То есть 16 только исполнилось.
Это в феврале было дело?
Да, 18 числа.
Нам зашли танки сюда.
Первый день зашел ДНР. А кто вот это потом зашел, мы не знаем. Потому что нас всех начали отсюда тупо эвакуировать. Неделю, можно сказать, даже не пускали сюда. А когда все люди начали домой ехать, нету ничего. В домах все поуходило.
А как вы определяете, танк чей? ДНРовский или российский или украинский?
А как мы можем определить, из ДНР зашли с белыми полосочками?
С белыми ленточками?
Да.
У вас тоже вытягивали из дома что-то?
Ну, лазили. Соседка была, пришли, ну, там была водка, у меня в подвале бабушки готовила. Ни одной. Ну, то хер с ним, с той водкой. Хай пьют, падают. Мама. Заходила соседка, а ополченец там был этот, ну, не русский, казах. Угу. Говорят, как казахи тут орудуют. Говорит, узкоглазый. Люда, ну расскажи, як казах тут лазит. Казах чи кто?
Да не казах он, ну,
бурят.
А как он выглядел?
Ну, такой скопленный. Не надо меня снимать.
Вот это первые, которые зашли, ДНР или потом, когда россияне зашли?
Нет. Этот самый, это уже были или 3-я смена, или какая. Угу. А там же не только россияне, тут и наши были. Вот первые зашли, то...
А россияне это те, которые с танками приехали?
Я не знаю, какие. У нас вот напротив стояли россияне, все хорошие хлопцы. Я же говорю, у меня вот эти наши быдлы донецкие украли 200 рублей с документами, последние, что были.
А как себя россияне вели?
Да вообще молодцы, они нас кормили.
А как вы думаете, ДНР мог бы тут победить без их помощи, если бы они не приехали?
Если бы россияне не приехали, мне кажется, нет.
Нет.
For me, what these women have just told us really corroborates the photographs and proves that there were Russian servicemen here, because they actually made a distinction between the Donetsk People's Republic fighters and the Russian soldiers, who they said were much better behaved. But we still needed to find the exact spot where this photo had been taken. So from the photograph, we know that Dambayev was standing on what looks to be like a Ukrainian checkpoint that they'd just taken over. And in the background, we can see some houses with green fences. There's a lot of buildings with green paint on them in this area. We have to find the right one. Well, that kind of looks like it, a little bit. This is the exact spot where an ethnic Asian-looking soldier had his selfie taken in mid-February. He then put that photograph up on a Russian social networking site, and that's why we know that he's a serving officer in the Russian Federation's army, because older posts on his profile page show him photographed back home in Russia at his military base. My next stop, almost 4,000 miles east, in Dambayev's home region, a part of Russia that borders Mongolia.
This is Ulan-Ude, the capital of Buryatia in Siberia. And I think that Dambayev is actually in this city right now because this very morning he posted a photograph with his son at this spot. It's one thing to reenact photographs that have already been taken, but it's a whole nother thing to find an actual living person without knowing exactly where they are. So this is going to be the hardest part of my investigation.
We were able to pinpoint the area Dambayev lives in from some of the photographs he posted. Then it was just a matter of asking around the neighborhood.
Мы ищем Бато Дамбаева. Здравствуйте. Мы делаем фильм «Герои Новороссии», ищем Бато Дамбаева.
Бато Дамбаева?
Бато здесь живет?
Нет его.
А когда он будет?
Не знаю даже. К родителям уехал.
А, понятно. На этой неделе будет?
С ним лучше связаться.
Well, we had one shot, basically. This was the address that we knew him to live at. We met his wife, but he's not here. So we're going to try and phone him and see what happens, but our chances are pretty bad at this point.
So we've got to let Dambayev know what we're actually doing, tell him about our investigation, to give him the right of reply. So what I'm going to do is create a profile on the vk.com social network, upload the photographs I've been taking of myself and the identical photographs, the original ones that he did. Then I'm going to friend him, and then we'll see what happens. Hooray! I now have my very own VK profile. This is Bato's page as it looks currently, and he still lists his military unit as this one in the city of Kyakhta from 2012 to 2016, so he's still serving. Okay, so should I add him to friends? It's my first friend.
Алло.
Алло, здравствуйте, Бато?
Да.
Вас беспокоит Simon Ostrovsky. Я хотел вам сообщить, что я открыл страничку в ВКонтакте, где и вас добавил в друзья. И вы можете посмотреть там фотографии, которые я запостил. Там есть и фотографии вас в Украине, и фотография меня на том же месте в Украине.
А где фотки будут?
Ну, эти фотки, они сейчас только висят у меня на страничке, но через несколько дней они будут опубликованы на нашем новостном сайте в качестве расследования, которое мы проводим. Если у вас есть возможность посмотреть эту фотографию, я думаю, она очень убедительная, потому что в ней я стою на том же блокпосту в Углегорске, в той же позиции, как и вы.
Хорошо, посмотрю фото.
Посмотрите и скажите мне, каким образом вы попали вот в тот раз в Углегорск на блокпост?
Не знаю, посмотрю, может ошибаться. Может, другая фотка.
Ну, очень трудно ошибаться в ней, как бы, я там был.
Да, я говорю, там не был, может, путаете там.
Ну, может быть, вам просто сказали, что надо так говорить?
Нет. Если я там не был, как могу такое сказать?
Ну, взгляните на фотографию, потом перезвоните мне, если что.
Хорошо, спасибо.
Не за что. Well, basically, we've told him what's up, we've given him the chance to respond, and now it's up to him.
After less than 5 minutes, we saw that Dambayev was active on the website and called back.
Алло, это еще раз я.
Угу.
Ну, вы успели посмотреть фотографии?
Да, посмотрел, да.
Ну и что скажете?
Нет, что-то ошибаетесь.
В каком смысле? Где я ошибаюсь?
Нет, не я.
Ну, а почему вы их тогда запостили на собственную страничку ВКонтакте?
Я его не вылаживал ВКонтакте. Какой ВКонтакте? Не ошибаетесь что-то.
Как не вылаживали? А я их где взял, по-вашему?
Я не знаю, вы откуда взяли.
Я вам говорю, откуда я взял. Я взял с вашей странички ВКонтакте.
Ну, не знаю, откуда вы взяли. Я не заезжал.
Ну,
ладно,
хорошо.
до свидания.
Всего доброго. He's been good and prepped.
I didn't manage to meet Bato Dambayev, but I got him on the phone and I talked to his wife. So I was able to confirm that he's a real person who's been posting all of this stuff online about himself and how he got from here in Siberia all the way to eastern Ukraine. I also found out a lot of other information, like who his brothers and sisters are and where he lives. And the most important bit of information I got was that he's a contract soldier with the Russian army up until the year 2016. So this just goes to show how difficult it is for any government, including Russia's, to try to keep anything secret from pretty much anyone in the modern world. The Russian government is trying to portray the war in Ukraine as a civil war between good Ukrainians who want to join Russia and bad Ukrainian nationalists who don't. But the reality of the situation is that the conflict is being artificially fueled, not just with arms, but with actual troops sent by Moscow in a bid to prevent Ukraine from integrating with the Western world. And it's Russian soldiers who are posting the proof online themselves.